Is this thing on? What's up, Charlie? D. Yes, indeed. Hit that like button. It's like crack to a YouTuber.
Red balls.
What's up, Tony? Anthony France, good to see you. What's up, Patricia? What you up to? Hey, Kelly. Remy Stuff, good to see you. Yeah, Tony, we're going to look at him today. Nothing too crazy. Anthony, I think I know how they were leaked, and we're going to talk about it. I think I know who took those photos. I'm not sure who leaked them, but I'm pretty sure I know the source. Hey, Anna. Good. Yeah, they did come out nice. Hey, I wear them, you know. Not only the president, but I'm also a member of the sleuth crew. Yeah, I don't know if they're real or not. I do believe that they are real. And I'm pretty sure I know who took the photos. Of course, this is only going to be my opinions. I don't have any proof. But I have a feeling that because of the shenanigans of the person who released them, that the person who actually took them will make himself clear soon enough. Just a theory. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, I heard that. It was like a vegetarian place that had a vegan menu or vegan options on the menu. I have the pics. We're going to look at them today. Previously, I wasn't going to, and then I looked at them and realized potentially it could be harmful, but I think it's more the reckless way in which they were released. Yeah, I agree with that. Bad intentions all over that channel. It does look staged, but that could also be part of the staging. If it looks staged, maybe that's because it's part of the staging. So we don't know if that was planned, you know? We don't know if those items fell there naturally. Did they get caught right there? During a struggle, they just ended up there. It doesn't look that way. It almost appears that they were maybe staged. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to make it seem as if they drowned or something. Before we get into the leaked stuff, the leaked images or whatever you want to call them, fake, real, who knows? The person's not, you know, of course they're not going to say. Probably because they're stabbing somebody in the back that trusted them with those images, possibly. Or whoever sent them to him is doing that. Somebody trusted somebody and now they're paying for it. And he's going to take all the credit. You know, these watermark types. Yeah, I mean, it's good if you're going to go out of your way and find something. you know, that you get credit for it. But I mean, what are you going to do? Put your picture right on the document, you know, look with an arrow pointing at you, like, I found it. I thought the important thing was in the information itself. So what's with all the watermarks? So you guys can timestamp this. Come check my channel out in a year. You're not going to see me watermarking things, okay? Matter of fact, when I share information, I try to do my best to find the clearest version of that piece of information, and I don't put any of my markings on it. You know, not judging, I guess not judging those that do it, but to me it's an indication of something that of your intention. But before we get into the leaked stuff, we're going to go over some pieces of information that I kind of want you guys to help me understand a little bit. We're going to look at an old CrimeCon video with Jerry Holman. You guys remember that, where they talked about the sketches? It seems like with all the new information, when I go back and watch these old videos, it's so different now. So I want to know if you guys are having the same experience with the same information. It's very, to me, it's very telling. And with the supposed other people that may be involved in this case that they're looking for, I think it's important. Yeah, and I think just hearing the words leaked images, you think of like a bloody crime scene, like West Memphis 3. That's what I was thinking. You know, I stayed away. I was like, man, I don't even want to see a glimpse of anything, even if it's not real. But it's pretty much stuff that we've all known was there. But I think I want to more talk about how it was released, why it was released, what this means. Is it real? Is it fake? Does this help any of our theories, any of our ideas? Does this point to a single perpetrator? You know, we're just collecting all of the information and we're trying our best to process it as untrained people, you know, just curious minds. Good to see you. Awesome. Timmy Waring, Obama Cat, what's up? Copper, good to see you. Beach Ferry, Repo Recon, and I see Lynn. Mark says, I found the Justice Served Daily video about yellow U-boat more informative as far as the bigger picture. Not familiar, or do I know, nor do I know what you're referring to. Yeah, D, I was like, if you're going to come out here with like some kind of weird images, you know, it's fine if you have them and you're looking at them and you're trying to figure out what the hell you're looking at, but sharing them publicly, I don't know. It seems careless. Thank you, Lisa. Violet Gal walking in. Happy Friday. Base Girl, good to see you. I am well. How are you? I think so, Charlie. I think those are his photos, and I'm going to show you why I think that. Marshmallow, fake, bye. No, don't go, please. They might be fake. And I'm going to tell you why I think they might be fake, or why they could be fake. What's up? Marlo Mack in the house. We got Bossy and Truffles. What's going on, Bossy? How's things on your side of town? What are you hearing? What are you hearing out there locally? Hey, girl. Oh, let me go back up. Hunter Biden's laptop. What's up? You must be packed full of information. Good to see you, Olivia. Vanessa. I hoped Becky has calmed down a little. Heard she was pretty upset. I do not know. What's up, Todd? Happy Friday. In the pic with the shirt, there appears to be possibly more clothing beneath the surface, beneath the shirts and the shoe. Yeah, we're not going to get into the pareidolia of it all. We'll leave that to others. Good afternoon, sleuthers. What's up, Frank? Bogey. What's good? What you been up to, Copper? Hey, Glenn. I never heard that all of the clothes were found together. If true, they would have been saying more than something about a shoe. I think it's staged. Yeah, it looks staged. Remember, a lot of the staging, from what we understand from the information the FBI puts out, basically investigating 101. A lot of times staging is done just to throw off the investigation. D is hunkered down. Jens, what's up? Miss Kitty, hello. The watermark's very strange. Yeah, because you can't even see the image. Like you're trying to look at it, you zoom in, and you think you're seeing something, but it's this like stupid watermark. I mean, if you're going to do a watermark, at least as bad as it is for the murder sheet to do that, at least do it like that. Like try to preserve some of the integrity of the what you're presenting. Like why even show it? It's like seeing something through the trees, you're like, here, let me just put a bunch of trees in front of it first. Here, how do you like your view of the mountains? Let me block your view real quick. And that's so, what did he say? That's so everybody knows that I don't know if they're real or not. No, the only reason you're not saying they're real or not is because you didn't take them yourself. Somebody sent them to you. Whoever sent those images to this person is really pissed off right now. And this guy doesn't care at all. Like he doesn't care one bit. So I got a piece of weed in my eye. Ganja crumbs. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to them 100%, but like, man, that was weird. Like, there were just like millions of them. I don't mind the idea of watermarks. They're getting so dark and bold, you can't read the document. Huge distraction from the information. Correct. And honestly, when I seen that, I was like, all of those watermarks or whatever, I was like, I'm definitely not going to check out this website ever. And then I'm thinking, well, that's why he put him there, because he knows people like me are going to show the images and then they're going to talk shit about him. And he's like, well, there's my my website. Just a whole lot of not a lot of fucks given, I guess. 0. Yeah, and they could be faked, Bogey. And we'll look at that point of view as well. Snowing. Yeah, it's kind of cold here too, but it's mostly blue skies. What's up, Microwave? Good to see you. TGIF. You better go hide yourself. FBI is looking for you. Big up to England. What's up, Valerie? Hi, Diana. Well, I mean, if you watch the video, he explained it in full, how he got the photos and the reason. I mean, he gave a reason. That doesn't mean it's the, the real reason. Me personally, I don't know him, but I didn't find him to be an honest person. He didn't have a truth-telling style, so to speak. I don't think that is underwear. Miss Kitty says, and why would she take her underwear off before across the creek? If taken off by the perp after the murder, why leave in the creek? I don't think that was underwear. But I do have a feeling the crime started on one side of the creek and ended on the other. Bossy says, I like murder sheets, but the latest episode aggravated me. The KK search info and Jeep info came from them. They're trying to sweep that under the rug, in my opinion. Yeah, we're going to put the light right back on that information. And I don't know if they're trying to sweep it under the rug. I just think that they were asked, to shut the F up. No, like stop blabbing. Because you can see that they have a bone to pick with law enforcement. And law enforcement's like, look, we're dealing with the most complex case. Like, you're going to ruin it for us. You may have already ruined it. Yeah, I think so. It's like they turned it into an event. Like they put it out there, They acted like it was a pay-per-view event. And this isn't breaking news. It's nothing really, really significant, really. But there might be something in there that only the killer knew. Like I didn't know that there was a group of clothes like that. And I don't even think that piece in the middle there that they're calling underwear, I don't think that is. But we'll talk about that in just a moment. Just trying to catch up on the chat, and I think I did. What's up, Paper Pimp 2008? What you up to, man? Welcome to the chat. Tivi. Is it Tivi? Tevi? Tivi? Glad to catch a live stream. Schedule usually prevents it. Well, where I'm from, this is lunchtime. Thank you, JJ. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, guys, if you could. Unless you're just hating. Then you probably already hit the thumbs down, you little bitch. You know I'm talking to. Those greasy haters are like, oh, he's talking right at me. Greasy. I haven't seen the pictures either, only the ones circulated earlier in the case. No, we're going to look at some strange things. I went way back. Hey, reach into my soul. I think they're fake. Yeah, they might be. Damn, my neighbors are going crazy. Hold on, let me close my window. They're out there wilding. Morgan LaFay, hello. Hey, what's up, French? Yeah, 11:15, which would coincide with J. Kyle. Yeah, I think I know who took the photos. Doesn't mean he's the one that shared them. He may have shared them with somebody, and then that somebody may have shared them, or this guy got his hands on them somehow. Yeah, boss, you try to get some photos if you could. That'd be cool. Hey, Mandy. I'm not familiar with that jam. I mean, I'm sure we all see some weird stuff, but it's just hard to verify something when you got all these freaking watermarks. You know, talk about pareidolia. That's going to add layers to everything. Galactic Smurf. Watermarks are so that people can reference this video and see that he is not sure if they are real or not. Oh, you mean that's what he told you? Man, maybe it's just I'm not a one-dimensional person. To me, everything has layers. Yeah, sick joke. Could be. We're going to compare them to the J. Kyle Keener images, and they look pretty close. And then we're going to go into the shoe story, where the shoe was located, where J. Kyle Keener was before the bodies were even discovered. We're going to break it down pretty good, I think. All right. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these old videos. I found them very interesting.
I am curious about the sketch on the screen, Sergeant, because the grainy picture doesn't show the face, but there were witnesses, if I'm not mistaken, who were able to lend information that got you to the sketch. Can you tell me a little bit about the witnesses? Where did they come from? What did they see?
I don't want to go into great detail, but they were near or on the trail. We have several sketches, but we've identified some of the people that they sketched. One of them was Mike, after when they were.
Hey, I was out there looking that day. I mean, when
they called the police
came in.
Yeah. Let me clarify that. There's plenty of people out there, numerous people out there afterwards helping with the search, and we got a lot of sketches of those people as well, including Mike. I think, maybe not, but but this sketch is several months.
Well, see, they talk about all these sketches they have. So think about the witnesses that they haven't even talked about. You know, if they think that others are involved, think about witnesses that we don't know about. You know, they talk about the 3 witnesses, the girls. They talk about the female witness. We know it's not official, but we know about Brad Heath and what he saw. Who are we missing? The lady that saw the muddy and bloody guy walking on 300. So what about the people that we haven't heard about? What did they see? Who did they see?
It didn't just happen in one day.
It came out in August, correct?
What's that?
It came out in August or July? Okay,
Yes.
so the summer following the February 13th
Could be,
murders.
JJ.
Right.
Could be the same
That's when the
person that
sketch
was holding up
released.
the
So
phone during the shoe
it's
story.
interesting to sort of get that information.
We'll look
at that.
Several months. Yeah, why so many? I'm pressing you here, obviously.
You can ask the tough questions, I'll answer them. Again, it takes a lot of time. I'm not a sketch artist, but the FBI actually, an agent from the FBI did this sketch. And, you know, I think when somebody sketches, it takes like 10 minutes. It takes several weeks. But to get the information, to find the people that we...
Look how big Holman is. That's Jerry Holman. Anna's like, dude, can you scoot over? Man, he looks like a freaking linebacker. Well, no, he's bigger than a linebacker. He looks like a lineman.
we believe saw that person that day near the time of the murders, that takes months. So we had to locate these people, interview them, find out who they really saw. Did they really see the guy on the bridge?
Yeah, who did these people see? All these witnesses. Just because it's in the probable cause affidavit doesn't mean that's everything that they have. I mean, we learned that, right?
From the video, or did they see Mike out there helping search, or did they see somebody else out there helping with the search? So we had to identify those people, and once we felt like we identified the people that actually saw the guy in the bridge.
So he's basically explaining the fact that, okay, we have potential witnesses here. They're telling us they saw these men at these times, right? So what if there's some people that were telling him, hey, we saw the young guy, or we saw this young guy running up and down the bridge, but it wasn't the three girls, it wasn't the adult who saw him at the bridge, and it wasn't the woman who saw him walking muddy and bloody. What if this is a whole nother side of this investigation that we don't know about? You know, what if that's the part he's referring to? He's saying we had all these witnesses and what they saw, it was up to us to decide, okay, this person was part of the search. Okay, we can put that to the side. Okay, now who's this person, this younger person? Well, we'll kind of we'll put this could be something significant, but we'll hold on to it. So maybe there's a whole nother story here about somebody else that could have been seen, and maybe they were even captured on video somewhat. Not sure.
Then the sketch itself took, again, several weeks. They sketched it, looked at it. No, that's not correct. And I will say
that'd be
that
cool,
she's
boss,
still,
if you could do that.
There's a couple people still aren't convinced that that's the proper hat, but that's the hat that the sketch artist could come up with, as close to what the witnesses were describing. And I know the superintendent said, don't focus on the sketch, and we got a lot of
Anna's like, what are you doing with your hands, bro?
On the sketch, and we got a lot of calls on that. I think what he meant to say was, you know, where there's 4 or 5 of us up here right now, and if we picked somebody out of the room right now and identified them to a sketch artist, there'd be 5 different sketches.
Yeah, he's a large
similar
American.
Features, as we believe the sketch has of the guy on the bridge, but they.
What's up, Indy Pam? Okay, let me show my screen really quick. Okay, so this one was released in July of that year. This one was kind of thrown around online as one of the potential sketches. And you heard Holman say, he said, we worked it out. You know, we're doing our best to kind of blend all of the witness accounts into one, you know, and the best they came up with that fedora type, like paperboy hat thing. So it seems like the discussion with the sketch never ends, right? So is this Richard Allen? Is this another suspect? Hey, what's up, Ruckus? Good to see you. Boy Mom, hello. Welcome, Boy Mom. That was 2018 CrimeCon, just before the new direction presser. Actually, just before the two pressers that they actually did 2 in 2019. They did one on the anniversary, where the prosecutor kind of came out and made himself known, and then shortly after, they did another one. So something must have happened, and I think it was the Hoosier Harvest Store video. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so I was looking at this younger sketch, and it reminded me of this video here. In certain lighting, he looks younger.
Dance, baby.
Okay. So is this what one of the witnesses was seeing? He looks younger from this angle and in this lighting. Is that possible? Thank you, D. Hey, Lakeside, good to see you. Bogey, you don't think that's him in that young sketch, in the younger sketch? Like, if you showed me this image right here and I didn't know who Richard Allen was, I would say that this guy was like 20 and like anywhere between 25, 30, maybe younger. But he's like 45 in this picture. Crazy. Good to see you, Lakeside. How you been? Creatine monohydrate? What are you doing, push-ups? Right? He looks younger there. So I don't know. Is it Richard Allen, or or is the younger sketch another suspect they're looking for? Yeah, he looks way younger. Here, let me put that back up there. It almost looks like a younger picture of him. Beach Fairy says, yeah, he looks a lot younger, and I think people forget he has changed a lot facially since then. His face was much slimmer, and he was overall less gray, etc. Yeah, he does look different. He seemed like he was more like he was healthier. Ruckus Rocks, retired law enforcement. Police sketches from witnesses' recollection are seldom accurate or hold any weight in a trial. Yeah, it's almost just to kind of narrow it down, I think. Like, hey, we got this guy. Does he look anything like the sketch? Yeah, he does. You know, let's go check out the witnesses. Hey, is this the guy? Oh shit, yeah, that's him. Or nope, it's not him. Yeah, that little nose, huh? So let me try this. Yay or nah? After Jay Turner, hello. After the New Direction presser, the multi-agency task force released a statement clarifying the sketches were two different people. I've never seen that statement. If you have it, please send it to my email if you could, or post it somewhere. Not him in the second sketch. In my opinion, his hair was covered. Yeah, this dude's got straight up curly hair. Take a high school photo of RA and compare it to the young sketch. What's up, She Warrior 64? Yeah, I thought so too. So I was wondering. But also the new information included a different height. So you got a younger sketch. And the FBI still has the younger sketch, but they have it next to the guy on the bridge. So it's confusing. But when they put out the new information, they also changed the height from 5'6" to 5'8", all the way to 5'10". Hey, Rebecca. You're not that late. We're actually still at the beginning. Yeah, he may look younger than his actual age. So even though he may look 40, his actual age could be 50 or 45, or he may look 35. To me, he looks around 35 in this image. And at the time of the crime, what was he, 45 years? So 18 to 40, but could appear younger. In my opinion, in this photo here, he looks a little bit younger. But does he look like the young sketch? I don't know. Hello, Miranda Cromer. Looks younger without facial hair. Yeah, and it seems like he did switch it up. You know, he kept his hair bald and he had a big beard. JJ says, I can't imagine going out and having a good time after having killed two young girls. Well, you shouldn't imagine being able to do it at all. That's what I think you meant. See, the thing is, people that can commit the crime, it's almost like it goes hand in hand to be able to just act like it didn't happen. How else did they do it unless they could put their mind in a different type of state? What do you mean, Andy? He wasn't caught until recently, and almost 6 years had gone by. And this photo was right around the time of the crime. It was like 2016. Booze? Think he went on a booze binge? Doug Carter, because of how you have changed. Man, I can't get that presser out of my mind ever since they arrested this guy. It's like they were talking right to him. Okay, let's keep it moving before we run out of time. Okay. So I wanted to get your opinion on that. If he could be the young sketch, because I personally do not know. But I think he could be. Patricia Warner says, much younger. The person or the sketch? You think the sketch looks a lot younger than what we presented there on the screen? D says a normal person wouldn't. But then again, someone normal wouldn't kill two little girls. Exactly. It's not a normal thing to do. So the thing that causes them to go out there and do these weird things is usually going to get them caught because they can't stop doing it. And it's like it's an indicator. I had to interact with him in 2015, and I disagree. He looks his age. I think it's the lighting or the lack of this video. That's what I'm saying. What if under the certain conditions, he looked young to a witness? You know, you got the trees casting shade over your face. You got the bright sun. You know, it's midday coming in. What if he just appeared to be young for that split moment? How close was the witness to this young sketch? Andrew Derringer, hello, says, I think both sketches could be him, but what I think is more important is the witness statement about the person in the black hoodie, black jeans, and black boots. Yeah, I find that interesting. The only thing that throws me off is I'm under the understanding she was with the other two witnesses, and they all just happen to see something different. Just like Holman said, he was standing on stage, and he said, hey, we could pick 5 people out of the audience to draw us, on stage, and they're all going to look different but similar. Good to see you, JJ. Drive safe. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate that. D says, looks like him in my opinion. I can see the resemblance. Yeah, is this the person? Was he walking? Is this the muddy and bloody guy? I mean, I just don't understand how a muddy and bloody guy was not like the focus of everything. How is that like not the breaking news? Like the muddy and bloody, it should have been like the muddy and bloody guy was also captured on video, Timmy says, could the young sketch be a thinner KK? I don't know. Whoever this young person is, I believe was seen on or around the trails. We know the sketch was drawn on the 17th. We know that for a fact. We even know who drew the sketch. Like, we are breaking down all the information about this case like to like the finest details. Trooper Bryant. Bogey says the prosecution says there's another person involved. The defense can say, agree. Someone else killed the girls. Release Richard Allen. Well, not if they got him on video and he puts himself there. And the judge says, nope, he ain't going nowhere. Think about it. Once again, the PCA reads like a search warrant affidavit. It doesn't even read like an arrest affidavit. Imagine what we don't know. Okay, another question I had was about the information that was in the PCA. Richard Allen's probable cause for arrest. It says that he was driving westbound, right? So basically going westbound in front of the Mears lot, passing the Hoosier Harvest Store and going towards, they don't say anything about having him on video parking there. They're still confused exactly if that was him. It seems they're going to have a hard time proving that in court. But they have him a car similar to what looks like a 2006 Ford Focus. So why did he come from that direction? Was he coming from home? Was he coming from another location? Does it even matter? Let me know what you guys think. Let me play this little clip I made just before the live stream. Discovered Richard Allen owned 2 vehicles in 2017, a 2016 black Ford Focus and a 2006 gray Ford 500. Hold on. Miss Dog Lover with the super chat. Thank you so much. He must have got changed after. Can't imagine him blatantly walking past his nosy neighbors covered in mud and blood. He must have changed after. Yeah, he may have left some clothing there. Maybe he planned to leave clothing, like you would leave a weapon, or he dropped it. Not exactly sure. Investigators observed a vehicle. Investigators discovered Richard Allen owned two vehicles in 2017, a 2016 black Ford Focus and a 2006 gray Ford 500. There's the gray. Investigators observed a vehicle that resembled Allen's 2016 Ford Focus on the Hoosier Harvest Store video at 1:27 p.m. traveling westbound on CR 300 North in front of the Hoosier Harvest Store, which coincided with his statements that he arrived around 1:30 p.m. at the trails. Investigators note witnesses described the vehicle parked at the former Child Protective Services building as a PT Cruiser, small SUV, or smart car. Investigators believe those descriptions are similar in nature to a 2016 Ford Focus. Why did Richard Allen choose this route to get to the CPS building? So, I don't know if he was coming from this direction, but we know right around Ron Logan's house is where he would have had to have come from. So was he coming from the same direction that Kelsey and Libby and Abby were coming, or did he take this route for a reason from his home? Because right there is where he would pass and be caught on camera. Why didn't he take the much quicker route this way? So was he trying to avoid cameras going through the town? What would be the motivation for doing that? Well, he lives next to the Marathon gas station. He lives right there. Let me see. I think I got a zoomed out map. Technology, right? Yeah, there were smart cars. Lance Lloyd, hello. Was he home when he started the journey? That's that's what I'm trying to question. So he lived here, right? In this weird little triangle that's not really even in the city limits, which is strange. Why did he go this way? Seems like a very long, like you're basically going the opposite direction. And it doesn't look like you can get on the freeway here anyway. So I'm not saying that, but he could have easily taken a left and gone right up here. And he wouldn't even have had to bother with the freeway or any traffic or anything. It would have been free selling all the way through. He was coming from the direction of Ron Logan's. So like I said, we don't know if Ron Logan had anything to do with this, but I can tell you one thing. He's not the guy on the bridge. I'm pretty sure of that. Hey, what's up, Shauna? So I guess the question is, was he coming from somewhere other than his home? Like, why would he go this way? Was he already over here? Did he drop somebody off at the private drive, maybe? Was he already on this side of the freeway? Drove up here, dropped somebody off, and then went this way? I can't make sense of it. See, that makes a little sense because they would get off the freeway there if they were going to the Marathon gas station, maybe to pick him up. Who knows? I just don't understand. If he was just going to a hike and this wasn't premeditated, I think he would have gone left. And that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? So I think he would have gone this way. Let's look at that one more time. It's just so much quicker, so much easier, and it takes you right to both parking lots. Like if you wanted to park at the CPS building, boom, that's what you would do. Yeah, that's possible, Lynn. Because didn't we verify it was that Sunday for some reason? Avoid lights. Let me put that map back up there. I just don't understand why he would go this way. And if he's not going the quickest and easiest way, is he coming from somewhere? And why is he coming from the direction of Ron Logan's home? Is that why Ron Logan panicked? He's like, oh shit, I know who that is. That's that damn Richard Allen that was over here with somebody and he got all drunk. Damn it, I'm going down for this. I need an alibi. You know, is he related? Is he did he, what do they call that, guilty after the fact or whatever? There you go, Bogey. So is this showing that he more signs that it was premeditated? Is he avoiding cameras? Yeah, Lance, where the hell's he coming from though? Well, let me ask you this first. Maybe he just preferred going this way. Is that possible? Maybe he's just like, I'm going to go this route. I like going this way. It's away from the town. And I'm going to go have a nice day at the park, at the trail. Welcome, Shauna, to the members. Hello, Gail McCauley. There used to be one bank and also light at courthouse faster other way. Oh, okay. So he's just avoiding the town. Hey, Randy, what's up? 2007 whistleblower, what is going on? Yes, the truth is in the middle. Well, I want to know that first. Is it something that he might do naturally without it giving signs that he was doing something nefarious? To me, it's way out of the way. Look how far he would have to go. There's no connecting roads in between here. You have to drive all the way over here to this intersection. Then you got to drive all the way back up here, go over Wilson's Bridge. Hey, Chopper. Paper Pimp says maybe the plan was for RA and KK to take the girls to Ron Logan's house and things went wrong. Time to play it in his head. I often drive to think. Yeah, maybe he was getting his wits about him, thinking about what was about to happen. Kyle Davis says, I personally prefer going that way, less traffic, and it's scenic. And see, I don't want to spend too much time on this if we all agree on something like that, because I do think that that is possible. If his goals that day were to go walk the trails, he's obviously trying to go out and do nature stuff, right? So maybe automatically taking the scenic route would be included in that. Plus, he works in the city. He works right in the heart of it. T-Vice says, time to drive and think, plan, fantasize with less chance of passing police. Okay, so it could be both. Very interesting. I knew this park and trail in and out. Him and TK hunted and fished these trails and river for years. The part of river the cops search is directly behind TK's house. Yeah, that is true, but I haven't seen any information that ties TK to Richard Allen directly. So if you have that'd be really big. If it's true crime, I'm usually loitering somewhere. Hello, Perry. Shout out to the UK. Miss Kitty, got to find out where that nest of viper pedos have their clubhouse. It's probably a cyber clubhouse. The Kick Messenger. How close was Richard Allen's home to Wilson Bridge? Okay, so this is where he lived, in this weird little triangle. And Wilson Bridge is over here. So who knows? Maybe he went to Wilson Bridge first. Maybe he was planning some shit over here first and then said, no, we'll go over here. I don't know. I'm just so confused by that. Why would he go that route? It doesn't make any sense to me. What's up, Todd? Not only avoiding cameras, but also people. He was avoiding being seen by anybody. So you think that kind of fits into the premeditated side of things? Premeditation. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, you're right about that. Miss Kitty 213 says it's not really that far, as it's a small town. It's farther, though. Excuse me. Less tedious than through town. Yeah, somebody mentioned stoplights. I always try to avoid certain lights in certain areas, you know, some that are longer, specifically turning signals. I took longer route, parked further away, and arrived 30 minutes before the girls, walking with purpose. Yeah, so you think, and you know what else? If he left and went right, if he was questioned, you know, and people were like, well, I don't know, he left and he went this way. He didn't go, you know, if he was going to the bridge, he would have went left instead of right. Coming out of this neighborhood right here. So anybody seeing him leave would have said, well, he went this way. He wasn't going in the direction of the trail parking. If he wanted to go to the trail parking, he would have taken a left. So avoiding cameras, avoiding people, going the opposite way for maybe witnesses that are watching him closely or who may have spotted him. Because we know he was aware of all the people that seen him. He was aware of the 3 girls that witnessed him. So he admitted to it. He was aware of the lady or being on the bridge because because he saw the lady, so he admitted to it. So it sounds like he is thinking about things. Yeah, Wilson's Bridge looks amazing, plus historic. It's always wondered early on if it was one of those bridge hunter types. Okay, another quick question. Thanks for helping me out with these guys because they're driving me crazy. Plus, I don't like doing live streams about Delphi if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay. So this is the day after the crime, when they found the girls out there. Now, there is somewhat of a path here. Right there in the center. They say he backed into the building. Now, did he back into the building or did he back in right here? In my mind, he's backing up all the way right here. And why would he do that? Or is this where he backed up? Kind of behind this brush here. Okay. So now did he just back in? For some reason, I'm thinking he pulled in straight and then backed into this little area here. Total Jag 1. For sure, he was drinking and on drugs. When he became sober and realized what he had done, he went straight to rehab. That's crazy. Gail McCauley says, if going to commit a crime, would you involve a man on probation? Who was on probation? Was that TK? Hey, Ivy. Sleuth, what do you think convinced the FBI agent Ron was involved, especially if she heard about Alan coming forth with all of those details? If she didn't, that's another story. Yeah, I don't think she did. And I think they were more concerned about not looking at him good enough and getting him out of the way. Because if you notice, they searched him and they were like, yeah, we didn't find anything. And then they were like, we don't think you searched him good enough. You didn't even search all these other buildings, on his property. So I think that affidavit was just to clear him. Plus, they had their suspicions with the fake alibi and all that stuff. Like I'm saying, he could be involved. But to me, from talking to people in Indiana, they have a fear of what's called the habitual offender. It's kind of like California's 3-strike rule. 3 felonies, and I guess you have like life or you get a really long sentence. That's what he was facing. So if he would have came out publicly and says, you know what, guys, the way that I can prove that I wasn't involved in this crime was that I was, breaking the law and also, becoming a habitual offender, so to speak. You think they would have been like, oh, thanks for being honest, Ron. Okay, you're not guilty of this crime, but we're going to let that slide. No, they would have been like, okay, we're not going to come after you for the Delphi case, but you are going to prison. So no matter what, he was screwed. So to me, he has motivation enough to fake an alibi. So that's the only reason I don't spend too much time on it, because I see motivation there to do that. Not to mention after that, after the big search warrant was served on Ron Logan in April, there was somebody that came forward from Tippecanoe County saying that he was drinking beer in their restaurant, eating pizza. And at the time they came forward, it would have been mathematically impossible for him to physically be committing the crime. People don't talk about that information, but I have the article. I think I've showed it, 100 times now? What's up, Jessica? Who am I missing? I know we got some new people walking in. Arkell Russell. I find it weird that Ron Logan went to the dump. That is close to Richard Allen's house. It is close to Richard Allen's house. But it's also close to his house, and I think one of the only places to go. It's right next to the Packers plant. Why did he go to the dump? Was it part of a preparation? I don't know. Maybe he was just cleaning up that day. He's very busy that day to be for somebody who just committed a murder. He was at the dump. He was at the aquarium store, and he was, he was having beer and eating pizza. He's a busy guy for a murderer. The connection between RA and TK would be huge info. Yes. People have searched far and wide. Can whoever posted that please elaborate? Yes, please. Please elaborate or share if you could. There has to be social media evidence of his stalking if that is how he knew they would be at the bridge. Exactly. He wasn't looking at stalks. He has a phone and he has a social media presence. Just because we don't know what it is doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And I think that's what they found in the Wabash River. Seems like Richard Allen was playing a part in a much larger plot. You know, Doug Carter's giant squid of a pedo ring. Man, how creepy is that? Imagine how many other murders could be tied to all of this. Jordan Sofer. I don't know. Maybe it even goes over to the Evansdale stuff. Whatever it is, they're being very careful. And they seem anxious to share the information and they can't. Yeah, that's a possibility I presented early on, Gail, and I'll read your comment here. I think Ron searched for the girls after the search was called off and found them and freaked out. Could be. Okay, so we're going to revisit the Marathon gas station information. So I put this little video together. It's kind of a little silly, so don't get too offended. Not that it should be offensive, but
our understanding from a law enforcement source.
Whoever this quote source is, I doubt very seriously that individual is a part of the core team.
Was that the FBI was in charge of obtaining relevant surveillance from local establishments. That included a Marathon gas station in Delphi.
As it turned out, our sources tell us,
law enforcement source,
Kegan Kline had searched for the location of the Marathon gas station in Delphi on the day of the murders.
Kegan Kline had searched for the location of the Marathon gas station in Delphi on the day of the murders.
Hotel reservations, may I help you?
Howdy do. This is Peter McAllister, the father.
Yes, sir.
I'd like a hotel room, please.
Yes.
With an extra large bed, a TV, and one of those little refrigerators you have to open with a key.
Yes, sir. You'll need a major credit card upon check-in.
Credit card? You got it.
how'd that get in there? That must have been in my slowed voice video collection. So if we have one more thing tying Richard Allen and Kegan Kline, it's that piece of information. And I think that it could be accurate. I think that's good information. I don't think it was supposed to be shared. And the fact that we heard about that information way before Richard Allen was ever brought up. So let's look at this. Okay, you see how this weird little triangle here? I don't know why, but it's not within the city limits. Isn't that strange? It's really weird. Okay. So yeah, if Richard Allen was going this way, he would basically, maybe he doesn't want to go by his job. Did he work there? When did he start working at CVS? He was working there because he handed those he gave Libby's aunt the photos for free of the funeral, remember? He didn't charge them. Hey, Yoka Empath, hello. To hide the plate. So you think he backed up all the way to the CPS building? There doesn't seem to be like a way to do that unless he was off-roading a little bit, you know? And maybe that's what brought a little bit of attention to himself. The strange way he was backed in. The speculation never ends. Against the building not to be too visible. Backing up to the brush, not the building. On the north side, his car is hidden from the bridge view. Yeah, he could have gone all the way back that way because there's a little bit of a parking area, or it almost looks like they had a shed back there. There's like a broken up foundation. So there must have been an older building there. I don't know, Chopper. I'm wondering if something was going on with the CPS building. There's nothing that points to that. I'm just curious to why they parked so close, why they were even there. But I'm wondering if he took the long way near Wilson's Bridge because he knows there's parking over there. So I'm wondering if he was kind of doing some recon, like, you know, maybe I should park here or I'll park there. All I know is I'm not parking close to the bridge, you know. Yeah, that is very weird, Jessica. I still would love to hear more info on why KK sent Libby money. Well, in his transcript, there's talks about the girl sending him fake nudes and him getting upset, and that may be the reason why he blocked them. So he may have sent them money, was waiting for the nudes. They sent him some fake stuff, and, you know, he got pissed. Or whoever was using the Anthony Shots account at that time. Could be Beach Ferry. They have those in my state. Lakeside said, I believe I heard his rear plate was toward the building, so his plate was blocked. Yeah, I just can't put it in my mind. Was he backed all the way to the building? Trying to get all the details correct right now. Yeah, what if that was like a drug spot? You know? Like that building is really secluded, but I guess it's kind of like in the open. So if people were coming and going, like I think you'd be seen. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't. But it did seem like a very sketchy little building. SP74 says, I think that's why people noticed his car because it was backed up to the building. Like obviously trying to hide, right? I've never been able to forget I was sus on him way before he made the breakdown video. Yep, RL on probation. So definitely motivated to create an alibi. Yeah, that would be a bummer. Well, Shauna asked, how long did it take for them to get the Ron Logan search warrant? Well, they were able to search within days because he was on probation. They don't need permission. They were able to search it, but they can't do a search like they would if they had a search warrant. So what they had to do was go back and get an actual search warrant so they can search all the buildings on his property as well, not just his home. And that was in March. March 17th, I think. March 11th, March 7th, somewhere mid-March, they served an actual search warrant. They didn't find anything. So, I mean, if he was connected, he had plenty of time to either hide it. But, I mean, there's just no way you can hide. You would have to, I don't know, you'd have to spray luminol everywhere. You would have to do like your own forensic investigation and then clean it up. I don't see Ron Logan doing that. So either he was involved and nothing happened near his home, and there's information that we don't know, or he's innocent and he was just creating a fake alibi so he didn't go to prison like he eventually did for like a year and a half anyway. Hey, Goat Dog. Good to see you. Enough time to get rid of the evidence for sure. But they did search right away. So if they did anything on the property outside of his general home, I think he has a barn. I think he has a place for his horses, and a couple sheds, stuff like that. Shay says, good to see you, Shay. Nobody talks about the phone Becky Patty let Abby use when she was there, since her mom forbid her to have one. What was on that phone? And I don't know if Becky let her use it. I do know that there is talks that she had a phone. And honestly, if I was 14 and my parents didn't let me have a phone, I would find one. And I would use the Wi-Fi. I mean, that's what Kegan did. He never had service. CJK says, do states still have 3-strike laws? Some need to bring them back. Yeah, some states do. Ruckus says, I used to tell offenders to take the jail time, even if you make it through 3/4 of your sentence, and VOP, none of that 3/4 counts. Yikes. Yep, never in prison. So maybe they do have DNA and it matches to him. They just haven't talked about it yet. Yep, he did. In Mexico, Indiana, just north of Peru. Very close to Wabash. Oh, and another strange fact is the place where they found Jordan Sofer's body in 2009 is not far from Paw Paw Pike, where Paw Paw Pike and Country Club Road meet. It's just a few miles up the street. Little fact for you guys. All right. So we are running out of time, so we're going to get into the leaked photos. I'm going to get your guys' opinions of them. If it means anything, if it's harmful, what's with all these strange watermarks and things like that, what the intentions are with this information. Why didn't the person go to law enforcement first? So this is what has basically gone viral. I mean, there's last I checked was like 30, 40,000 views. And it's only been out for a day. Okay, so these are the metadata on this is timestamped at 11/13. So this would be before the girls were officially found. Tried to say that this was underwear. That is not underwear. This, I believe, is what was covering his face. And this could be staged. I mean, these shoes kind of look new. So I don't know. And then for some reason, he blurred the person out. Now, did he blur the person out because that person is him? Maybe. I mean, this would be very easy to stage, but the only thing is it looks like Deer Creek. LGW, hello. Ron was not to have access to any personal vehicle or to drive. He did both. Yeah, he could have been as honest as possible and he was going to jail. I don't care what anybody says. Police do not work that way. They don't say, "Oh, well, you were honest about this, so we're going to let that slide." Nope. They're going to thank you for being honest because now they don't have to waste any of their time chasing you anymore. But you're still going to prison for 2 years. He did not want that to happen, in my opinion. Ivy, hello. Murder Sheet interviewed one of his former co-workers at the CVS in Peru. Oh, really? I did not see that episode. Oh, he was not. Well, I think he was working because he developed the photos after the funeral, which just was a few days after. So he had to have been working at the CVS. Misha, absolutely. You can back up to a brick building and hide plates. It's not against where they're bushes. Oh, you're familiar with that area? Yeah, backing in looks shady as hell. So I don't know. Did he back in or back in behind the bushes? Or did he take that little path area and back in right on that path into the building? Lance says, I think that the girls were supposed to be taken away in another vehicle on the private drive. I think they could have been taken away. I think it's possible that they were taken and brought back. And all of this stuff that's on the ground was maybe just dropped, while they were trying to hide them on the other side of that creek. Hiding his plate, passing cop tag recorder, couldn't read it. They can see pretty far. Yeah. Technology. Yeah, why they need to kill 2 girls is the big question. And I think that the motive is going to tie into the Las Vegas trip. Why were they in Las Vegas? What's up with the ski mask incident the day before they went to Vegas? Why is Kegan Kline looking up the Marathon gas station, which is right up the street from Richard Allen? Shay says, I think the tentacles reference may be regarding other possible high-profile involvements. Jared Fogel's case. Yeah, I think so as well. I think they're going to try to bring them all down if they can, Or maybe they scammed KK. I send you a naked pic if you send me money. I think they did. Because they quote him in his transcript. They say, oh, that's not a nude. What are you good for? And then Kegan also later mentions, yeah, they annoyed me, so I blocked them. And I think that took place on the 10th. So something else was going on between the 10th and the 12th. Okay. So I'm not sure what this is. It's hard to tell with all this freaking crap that they put on the screen. It's like you can't even tell. Like, is that bushes going over what I'm seeing? Am I seeing, is that part of the image or is it part of the watermark? So annoying. So I think that thing in the water might be this thing around his neck. And the only reason I say that is because up here, you get a better view of whatever that object is, and it doesn't look like underwear. It even looks like something is wrapped up in that item. You see there's like a shape underneath it, maybe a mask. So this is the other side, the other view of that object, and it doesn't look like underwear. Now, as far as the pareidolia, I mean, there definitely looks like there's something underneath it as well. Like a brown object. But yeah, in my opinion, what we're looking at is this thing. So if those items fell naturally, they could have yanked this right off of his face, you know, during a struggle. Yep, Honeybee, good to see you. First warrant was for weapons only, violation probation. That was for Ron Logan. They didn't need his permission at all. Thank you, Jay Turner. March 16th was the official FBI's search warrant. Well, they wrote it up anyway. Hey, what's up, Brown Skittle? Good to see you. I've often wondered if the Anthony Shots payment to Libby was for extra credit on her phone. That's interesting. Or to purchase a phone. You know, they groom. That's what grooming's all about. Like, hey, I need to groom you so you don't get me in trouble. You know, I need to groom you in the ways of not getting my ass caught. And maybe somebody screwed up. They exposed their face or something. K-Cat says, who took these photos? Let's talk about that. I'm going to tell you who I think, and I don't know. But I'll tell you who I suspect and why. All right. This was a post by J. Kyle Keener. He put it out on Facebook and Twitter. It has been a tragic day in Carroll County, Indiana. The scene of a double murder. One thing they never teach you in journalism school is how creepy it feels to have to cover a homicide. For several hours, I photographed the search for two missing 13-year-old girls. For several hours. So he was there early in the morning on the 14th at the bridge. And I'll show you proof of that. Missing 13-year-old girls. This type of endeavor is stressful for the searchers, the first responders, and also the media at the scene. Detectives found the bodies of two missing teens near a rural hiking trail below the abandoned Monon High Railroad Bridge. The bridge itself is incredibly beautiful, making it difficult to witness a horrific murder scene so nearby. So he witnessed a horrific murder scene. So he was close enough to see it. From 75 yards away, I could see girls' clothing in Deer Creek east of the bridge and knew full well that the girls were found very nearby. To walk in a place that a murderer had walked only a handful of hours earlier is extremely upsetting. Now, how did he know that he walked on the bridge? They didn't have a video of that yet. They don't know, you know? So I thought that was strange. To walk in a place, unless he just meant the trails overall, that the murderer had walked only a handful of hours earlier is extremely upsetting. Or is he referring to him actually being down there where he saw the clothes and took photos of the clothes? It's extremely upsetting, but as a journalist, it is part of the business that simply needs done to tell the news of our area. Photos by J. Kyle Keener Ferris Tribune. Okay, so this was by Alexis McAdams. Now, whoever took the leaked photos, I believe, was on this side, much further over to the left of this photo here. So 75 yards, if he was on the bridge, would have been right here. We know nothing was found here. We know there was no clothing there. We know there was maybe a cigarette butt or something like that. So give me a moment. So these are some of the photos that he took that day. So he was right in the mix of this investigation. He was there before the girls were spotted. He took this photo here. Tony Leggett looking down at this area. And this kind of looks like the same kind of stuff we see in the leaked images, right? This grass, this long grass. Here's a wider view. So this proves that J. Kyle Keener is right underneath the bridge where Kelsey says they found the shoe. So he's right there. Here's proof. He's standing in the location where, and you could probably see the bodies somewhere through here. And I know he left the Tribune shortly after this. So he took this photo around 9 a.m. that day. These are family members of his. Some searchers out on the bridge. More searchers. Family, friends helping to look. Searchers coming from the south end. Okay, now here is his Twitter post. Okay, now remember, they were time-stamped at 11:15, remember? And that's about an hour from this time here, 10:14. The two missing young teen girls were hiking near the Monon High Bridge, where the searchers looked for them near noon Tuesday. So it's almost noon, 10:14 a.m. They find him at noon, just after noon. These guys are coming from the south end of the bridge, helping to search. So he just time-stamped what he was doing. Let me pull up some of the other photos here. Yeah, we'll focus on this one for a minute. Yeah, 50 feet away from the creek, so 75 yards would have been right across the way there. So let's get a look at what this looks like here. Looks very similar. Tall grass, you can see where the flooding or when the water levels were higher. All the stuff getting stuck on the trees. Okay. Now, this was something I found on Reddit because I remember this. Okay, this is from Stupid Eyes Me 3 years ago. I took the screenshot just this morning. J. Kyle Keener also put a photo of Libby and Abby's crime scene online, I believe within 24 hours of them being found. The photo showed a medical investigator at the scene and included a view of the crime scene just beyond him. It was quickly taken down, but there were people who speculated about Keener's reasons for posting it. He was a professional photographer working for the local newspaper, so one would think he'd know you can't put graphic murder photos online during a new and ongoing criminal investigation. P.S. I didn't see the photo myself, but I was following Abby and Libby's story from the day they went missing, and I remember the people were shocked at his poor judgment. See, I remember this. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I remember the discussion about it and him shortly leaving the Tribune. Keener left the newspaper a short time after. So I remember this, all of that, but I never saw the photos. So I'm wondering if these were some of those photos. You know, he's like, well, I'm not getting back into photography. I'm not going back to these newspapers. So who cares? I'm going to go ahead and share these photos, with somebody. So he could be suspect number one as far as the photos. What else did I have? Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is what we already knew about the shoe. Okay, so this was posted February 15th, 2017, updated February 16th, just a day later, by Katie Cox. 2 bodies found outside of the small community of Delphi, Indiana, were positively identified Wednesday as 2 missing Carroll County teens. Liberty Libby German, 14, and Abigail Abby Williams, 13, were reported missing Monday afternoon after they were dropped off to go hiking near the Monon High Bridge. And here's the old tip line information. Family, friends, and rescue crews combed the area through the evening Monday and could not locate the 2 teens. And here's the update. 2 bodies were found by volunteers on Tuesday, less than a mile from where the girls were originally dropped off. The bodies were found on private property about 50 feet from the shore of Deer Creek. Sources tell Call 6 investigates that a set of footprints were what led volunteers to the area the bodies were found. It wasn't until Wednesday after that the bodies were positively identified as the missing girls. Their deaths are being investigated as a homicide. So sources. So I think that is the same source was J. Kyle Keener because he was down there. I mean, we have proof. Did he take the photos? I don't know. We might have another suspect. Okay. So if we see here, the sandbar, the searchers are standing on the sandbar right here. Now, when J. Kyle Keener was down taking his photos, he was down here, and he was most likely part of that search group. You know, Kelsey was probably here by now. She was a group of 3. There was another group over here, somewhere further down. And we're going to listen to Kelsey explain where they found the shoe, which was right here. She was up here on the private drive. Somebody yelled up, "Hey, Kelsey, what kind of shoe was Libby wearing?" She yelled down, it was black with the white Nike swoosh. Okay, well, we found it. So that would have been somewhere in here on, you can kind of see this little sandy area as well. Almost appears as if you can run across that. So if anything, that shoe and that clothing was found somewhere over here. And J. Kyle Keener would have been in a perfect position to snap a shot. Now, was he the one that leaked those images? I don't know. But I do believe he could have been the one to take them. Okay, we're going to listen to a quick clip from a great podcast called Infamous Indie. And they're interviewing Kelsey. And this is just about 10 seconds. So...
Three of us chose to cross the bridge to look underneath the bridge.
Can you guys hear that? Todd says, I believe they likely are real because the photos are not perfect, not perfectly clear, bright, sun distorting, supposed underwear, shirt mostly submerged. Yeah, it could be real. I don't know, Snoop. A lot of stuff is probably against our constitutional rights. They still get away with it. Well, it appears to be a shoe. What I think is whatever the killer was using to cover his face with, and a shirt. Did you guys hear the audio? Okay, yes, I can hear. Thank you, Beach Fairy and Mandy Ray. Okay, let's go on. Let's continue.
And that's where I ended up. Three of us chose to cross the bridge to look underneath the bridge on the opposite side. And that's where I ended up hearing that we found the bodies.
When you were there, do you remember what you saw?
At High Bridge?
Right when they found the bodies?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, first off, I was standing on the trail that's right under the bridge, looking out into the woods.
So she's talking about that private drive that I pointed out just a few moments ago.
And somebody yelled up that they had found a shoe. And when they found the shoe, they had asked what kind of shoes the girls were wearing, and they yelled up the type of shoe that Libby was wearing. So I yelled down and told them that. Actually, then the person that had asked that had put up their phone and saw 2 deer in the ground moving, and so he was looking to see what it might be, and he saw 2 deer standing up there, and when he saw them, he moved the camera down, and that's when we found them.
Yes, Brown Skittle, exactly. Says maybe this photographer was the same guy who focused his phone across the river and saw the deer and the girls. No, that is not J. Kyle Keener, but that could be the person who took these photos. So if he had his cell phone out, sees the girls, and everybody's getting, all this commotion breaks loose. We know that they told Kelsey, and she had to be, somebody had to hold her back, and they had to hold her back and explain, like, look, if this is a crime scene, like, you don't want to go over there and mess things up. And they kind of had to, like, help her snap out of it. So maybe during all this commotion, people that were down there with their cell phones are like, well, I'm going to go and snap a photo of that, and that, So it could be whoever was part of that group that was down there before law enforcement made their way over there and told them, like, hey, you can't do that. Like, stop taking photos of this as a crime scene. They, for their own personal reasons, they snapped them. Throw this back up on the screen. Okay. So this, Kelsey said that the shoe was found just down here. So I'm assuming, I think it's somewhere over here. Or maybe even right here, whatever this is. But here you could walk out and take the photo. Let's pull up those leaked, supposed leaked images again. So I'm assuming they were standing over there. And I'm assuming this is the south side of Deer Creek, right where I pointed out, right where J. Kyle Keener was, right where those searchers were. So this must be where the crime started. But what's strange about this image here is it almost appears as if he's in the water. So I don't know, is he on the sandbar? What is all this stuff here? We got a bag. That could be nothing. That could be more pixelation. So who knows? But it does look like the Deer Creek. And this does not look like underwear to me. This looks like whatever the item was that he was using to cover his face. This thing here. And here's another view of that item. That doesn't look like underwear. I'm sorry. It almost looks like another item that's folded up being wrapped in a scarf or some type of cloth. So what do you guys think? That's a good point. Lance says, Sleuth, I don't think all 3 things would be trapped that close together in the creek. I don't think so either, but it's possible because I don't think they're in the middle of the creek. I think this is right off the edge of the sandbar. And I think there could have been a fight here, or he could have been, telling her, take off your clothes or whatever. Whatever took place there could have happened right there. And then they, if they're standing out there on the sandbar, right, and they're looking around, they're like, wow, it's not that deep. We can just run. They could have been talking to each other like, hey, let's just run across here. Like, what's he going to do? We got to make a run for it. And the suspects probably thought, well, she's not going to run if she doesn't have any clothes on. But if somebody's like, I don't give a shit. I'm not, you're not going to hurt me. I'm out of here. Like, I don't care if I'm dressed or not. Let's get out of here. Boom. And they take off running. So it could be multiple crime scenes. One here, an assault took place here, and then some, and then on the other side of the creek. Common Keys, thank you so much. Super chat. Enjoy your show, Sleuth. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. What's going on, Randy? Good to see you. When I look at it, it looks like a bag, Sleuth. It looks like a brown bag. I'm not exactly sure, but there is some trash out there. Like, what is this? This is kind of what I see underneath as well. So it could be natural. I don't know if this is what I'm seeing here. Like I said, we can get into the pareidolia another time, but these images are garbage. I mean, why would you do this? Leighton, does anybody know if Alan's wife worked part-time? I keep hearing stories that she was gone. Sports bra, maybe? I don't think so. Look how weird it looks from this angle. It almost looks like it's wrapped, something else is wrapped up in it. Yeah, and they could have fought, right? There could have been a struggle there. Because in my opinion, that thing in the middle, it looks like the thing he's got wrapped around his face. This thing. Yeah, this thing, whatever this is, could very well be this. He used it to cover his face from the car all the way through to the bridge, and he knows he's going to kill these girls, I think. So he doesn't need it on his face anymore. Yeah, so that's the troubling part. Creatine monohydrate says the items do look to be placed there and not washed up. Okay, let's say that they took the girls and came back and they took them across the creek and dumped them, just like over in Evansdale. They parked and they went a ways back, right? So what if they took some of the clothing and just said, well, let's just lay it right here, and then everybody will think that they just drowned. Not saying it's a good idea, but it could have been something they were thinking. No black joggers. Yeah, like a bag, huh? It looks like a bag, and then maybe like a duffel bag or something. Brown bag. And then a bunch of stuff shoved in this bag, wrapped up in this bag. You can kind of see it right here. Kind of looks like a mask. But like I said, we'll get into it another time. You can kind of see the shape of it right here. Leighton Welsher, hello. I don't think Alan had any help killing the girls. I don't know. I think that he could have. We got all the weirdness with the sketch. The prosecutor, investigators, and even the FBI said from the beginning we thought others were involved. We got the multiple vehicles. We got the whole Anthony shots part of the case. Yeah, something else is going on. We have the tentacles comment. We have in the transcript, the largest pedal ring. I mean, there's something going on that we have no clue about, and they're trying to make a big bust, I think. Completely. So one more thing I want to talk about.
Abby had spent.
Okay, this was an interview with Mike and Becky by Jason Hebert and Mr. Grotto. This is a great interview. This is about 10 seconds of that interview. And then we're going to just spend the next 10, 15 minutes open discussion about any of the topics that we brought up today, or anything relating to Delphi for that. And let me know if you can hear the audio. Sometimes when I share my screen, it doesn't want to play. What's up, Public Art Critic? Good to see you. Good evening. Peter Santora, hello. Would he leave a face covering at the crime scene knowing they could possibly get DNA from it? I don't know. Did he just spray something on it? Did he just run it under the water? I don't know. The thing is why would you kill two people? So right there, logic is not in this person's mind. So it's hard to, bring logic into something that's not logical. Leighton Welsher, I think Alan distributed the clothing in the water thinking DNA would wash away. Maybe it did. Good to see you, Peter. That one I can't remember. Okay, let me know if you guys can't hear this.
Abby had spent the night before. They had slept in a little bit. They didn't have school on Monday because it was a snow makeup day. And they had slept in because they had been up late through the night, as girls will do.
Okay, what do you guys make of that? You think that plays a part in anything? And I think we're going to finish the discussion with this point. Okay, so I think from the 10th on to the 12th, something was going on. People were trying to meet in person. People showed up in person. Maybe they came and said, hey, look, we're the real Anthony Shots, and maybe something physical actually happened. Maybe an assault took place. I don't know. I have a feeling that they were setting up these girls from the very beginning for something for trying to produce a product of some kind. When you look at all of the information, the tentacles, the largest pedal ring in Indiana history, the catfishing, all these people involved, the strangeness surrounding the case, the hesitancy from law enforcement to release information, there's something more that's going on with this case. And I think that has a lot to do with the motivation, what happened in Vegas. I think it's all going to tie in eventually. Later, Ruckus. Yeah, we're going to get out of here in a minute. Good to see you. Shay Watson, the bullet would have been accidental. Face covering would be purposely left. Yeah, unless it was ripped off. But I mean, it's just weird that all those items are just sitting there. It could be part of the staging. Yep, I think so. I think it is all tied in together. Yeah, it could have been. They could have panicked. Yeah, honeybee. I'm starting to do that a little bit more, but if I don't find anything, sometimes I find things that are really strange, but if I can't pull up an article or a source, I just don't even mess with it anymore, you know, because it just ends up being an argument. Well, you can't prove this, you can't do this. And I agree with that argument. So usually I just gather the information that I have something to back it up with, or at least to give you an idea of where I'm coming from. That way you can kind of go over there and like be like, oh, well, this is where you were wrong, or this is where you were right. And look what else I found. Stuff like that. Yeah, why Vegas? Why a day after the ski mask incident? And why the day before the ski mask incident was Kegan looking up the family that the ski mask incident was perpetrated against? I mean, this is too many coincidences, guys. I mean, there's a connection there. And I think it points at the motive. You're welcome, Lance. Thanks for your participation. Sleuth, thanks for the quality stream, mate. Great time for us in the UK as well. Love the unbiased but informative input. Thank you so much. Yeah, I do think Alan is bridge guy. Yeah, horrible shame. Shout out to the UK. Big up to Yorkshire. Glad to have you guys. Hey, Heather. What you up to? Why does a killer leave a knife sheath at the murder scene? The mask might have dropped by accident. That's a good point, Lakeside. You know, and if it wasn't for that one mistake, they may not have ever caught him, right? With the thumbprint, the DNA. Could have been looking at a new direction presser in 2 years, you know, about, you know, where they're talking to Brian Koberger and we don't even know his name. I mean, I think shit like that happens. Thank you, Digital. Can we get 300 thumbs up? That'd be awesome, guys. If you're hanging out in here, all you got to do is click that thumbs up. If you want to support my channel, that's the easiest way to do it. Don't be a scrub. There are other cases solved and unsolved that have tremendous amount of coincidences, which actually mean nothing. Yeah, it's true. That's the one thing I learned from watching those cop shows, like the first 48. The one thing that they remind the viewers of all the time is that coincidences do happen. You know, I was watching an episode and they had this guy. I mean, he looked like the guy in the video. He looked like the guy in the video, and everybody else in his circle thought he looked like the guy in the video and said he was kind of crazy. And he was in the area at the time, right? So they thought they had their guy. They had DNA. They ran his DNA. It wasn't a match. Come to find out, a guy that was in the same area looked just like this guy, and they just happened to cross paths. So, I mean, coincidences do happen, you know? It's not like they hired a lookalike to go out there and confuse everybody, you know? There's shit like that's not going on. Maybe in some crazy bank heist movie, but coincidences do happen. How do you explain people go to prison for life sentences to be released, you know, 10 years down the road? Like, oh, I'm sorry, it was the other guy. Peter's asking, Sleuth, do you think Koberger left that knife sheath on purpose or by accident? I think it was on accident. I think he might be a serial killer. He's getting sloppy and lazy, and I have a feeling eventually he's going to be like, these are all the people I killed, and it's going to be like 12 people, you know? He's going to be one of the prolific serial killers of our times. I don't know why. I guess I do know why. Specifically, the Travis Jewett and Sandra Ladd cases are the reason why. And I think there's another one recently that he might be involved in. Thank you. We got a super chat. Thank you for the interesting discussion. Thank you so much. It's good to see all these new faces. The Idaho crime is a real mess. The killer was sloppy or passionate to the point of insanity. I expect the defense to be that someone else did it. Maybe someone who answered BK's crime questionnaire. Yeah, that's a strange case, huh? Well, it appears he was stalking them. He might pick his victims and then stalk them, try to build himself up to, doing it. Digital says, I've always heard 1 is a coincidence, 2 is a clue, 3 is a map. The lighting in the pool video and some shadows, I see BG for sure. That's crazy. All right, guys, we're at the 2-hour mark. That's all the time I got. Today was a wonderful stream. You guys were very helpful, helping me kind of work through some of these questions I have regarding the case so that I could present the information to you better. Thank you so much for participating. Everybody that donated today, big up to you. Thanks for the support. Once again, if you hit the thumbs up, that's the easiest way to support my channel. But I really appreciate everybody who donates and appreciates my time, really. Makes me feel good. And on that note, we are going to get out of here. We'll let the music play us out. So much. God bless. Thank you, Peter. Big up. Big up to you. Have a great weekend, Vanessa. Deuces, Mandy. Lakeside. Honeybee. To everybody for hanging out. Shout out to the replay crew. Leave some comments to get back to you. Thanks again, everybody. Anything. Focus. I guess if it was backed up into a building hiding behind some bushes, maybe.